I'm going out the room with the phone.
How was that?
I'm
So
going
shy.
Oh, okay.
Like, so like missions, like, I'm only
Like,
like,
I've done
Not
four?
since.
Oh,
No, this
okay.
only a couple weeks ago. So I had a race last week.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm so excited.
Oh,
Did you see that? Did you see that?
I know she's easing along. We've known
What?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, that's on there. That's been live streamed to the world. One person is watching you
And
do that.
It has officially gone viral.
She's gone out a few times.
We got
Okay.
18,000
He's only
views.
nice.
Officially gone
So,
viral.
Yeah, I'm like,
Forever be known as the weird kid girl. Yeah.
perfect.
It's like
Okay.
10,000.
Are we good?
You good to go?
Are we rolling?
Yep, we're rolling.
Okay.
Let me take this off. Need to get ready.
You don't have to. Just if you want to feel more like karate-esque, then yes.
I'll lose my shoes on. It's cold.
It just doesn't feel right to be in my gi with shoes. So, what's everybody's names? What's your name?
Sydney.
Sydney. Hi, nice to meet you, Sydney.
Hello.
You got Lori. I'm sorry, I
Sarah.
went
Sarah.
Sarah. We have Sarah. Okay, awesome. So, could we turn the music off?
Yes.
Thanks.
Go.
Well, welcome
Oh,
to
really?
our self-defense night.
Oh.
Thank you guys for coming. My name is Melody. I'm first degree black belt in Kempo Karate. I've been practicing for about 13 years. I've also been running for about 13 years. And I am an ultra runner, just got into that a few years ago. So I spent a lot of time alone on the trails. And we put this course together because I know what it's like to be a woman running alone on the trails, and it's scary and it's dangerous. And I honestly feel like everybody needs to have a basic knowledge of self-defense. And anyways, the point of this course is to give you confidence to run alone and to give you tools so you can be safe and continue to do things that you love. And then I'm going to let my dad introduce himself real quick. He's going to help out tonight.
You just need somebody to punch during the demonstration. My name is Mark Collister. I've been studying American Kempo Karate for about 35 years. Been teaching for over 20. And so it's just been something that I've really enjoyed doing.
7th degree black belt.
So yeah, I teach out in West Valley, down in Salt Lake a couple times a week. And so I got Melody involved in martial arts, and later in life she got me involved in running. So I'm also a trail runner since the last 2 years, and I love running and planning my first marathon next year. And so I also, whether you're male, female, or whatever, it could be scary out in the backwoods when you're out on the trail. And so I think it's just some knowledge of self-defense is always helpful, even just for that confidence, so you know you have some capability.
Awesome. Thanks. Okay, so we're going to get the boring part over with before we start beating each other up. We're just going to talk about the basics of self-defense, and then we'll get into the fun stuff. So what would you guys say? Like, what are some good safety measures to take when you're running alone? What would you guys say? Any, like, safety measures that you personally take? Mace. Yeah. So having, like, spray mace on you, that's a good idea. What's that? Pocket knife. Yeah. So weapons is
A light in the dark.
yes, light in the dark. I would say the number one most safe thing you can do. You're just ready to jump into the fight.
Like this.
Yeah. The safest thing you can do is run with another person, right? So for me personally, I'm not much of like a group runner. I really enjoy solo running. That's kind of my me time. And I also don't like to try to coordinate my schedule with someone else's schedule. I just kind of like to get out and run like whenever I want to and whenever I feel like it. So I do spend a lot of time alone on the trails. If you don't mind running with other people, that is the safest thing, and you can find people really easily, especially here in Ogden. I mean, if you get a run for fun and you just say, hey, looking for a running buddy, you'll have 8 people who are like, I'll come run with you tonight. So if you like running with other people, you can always find people. If you're more like me and you're more a solo runner, another option is to run with a dog or an animal animal. I don't know what other animals you run with. I've never seen someone run with a cat, but
Right.
running with a dog or something, an attacker or another animal is less likely to target you if you have an animal with you. Again, if I don't have a pet, so if you're like me, you don't have a pet, then here are some other things, some other rules you can follow. So, how many of you guys run with headphones? Do you like running with music? Yeah, you're like, yeah.
Not when I'm alone.
Okay, good, yeah.
On the trail. When I'm on the road, I'll run with headphones.
Okay, I'm the same because I personally am not a big road runner, and I'm like, I need to just zone out and put headphones in. But I'm kind of half and half. Sometimes I have my music in, sometimes I don't. If you are good with music, get headphones that don't cancel out the sound, or maybe consider running with one headphone in. Something that I do is, like if I know I'm going to be deep in the woods by myself, I turn my music on my phone, like out loud, and I just stick it in my pocket. And that makes me feel safer too, because then it lets people and mainly animals, like when I'm deep in the woods, know that I'm there and I'm coming too. So that's an option. Another really important thing is if you're running alone, make sure you tell somebody where you're going and when you're going to be back. So me and my husband are super religious about this. If I go on a run, I always tell them, this is where I'm running, this is how long I'm running, this is when I expect to be back. I always let them know when I'm back. If my husband's not home, then I have a family chat where I'll tell my family, hey, this is where I'm running. I'll check in when I'm back home, when I get back from my run. Hey, I'm back and I'm safe. So just make sure that you know where you're going. Another thing, if you're running in a new place, make sure you do your research and you know the trails that you're running on. So maybe talk to people in the area who can give you some advice on the trails, do your research, maybe kind of scout out the trail a little bit before you run on it. Make sure that you know where some like escape routes are and how to get home if you need to get off of a new trail. Let's see. We all have like Strava and our GPS watches that can tell people where we are, kind of tracking us. That's a safety thing. And then also, if you're on a trail alone, make sure that you listen to your gut. If you have a yucky feeling, turn around and get off the trail. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think that's good. I would just say that if you have incident detection on your watch, make sure that you watch it. I fell down once on the ice, and it sent a message to all my family and friends telling them I was dead on the trail somewhere. And I got up to run again. It was in sending notifications.
Yeah.
Just kind of be careful. You don't give somebody a false cry for help.
Yeah, that's happened with my husband Jacob. I've gotten like 5 messages from him, or like 5 text messages, and it's like, I'm like, I hope he's okay. Like, I don't trust it anymore.
Right.
Anyways, okay, so just kind of a few things to follow. Let's get into the fun stuff here. So before we get kicking and punching, let's just do a little warm up because we are going to be moving. So everybody kind of spread out, find some space. Okay. So now everybody we're going into like dojo karate mode. So like put on your imaginary white belts. We are now in the dojo. I am your sensei. And in the dojo, we all count out loud together. So we're going to do 25 jumping jacks. We're all going to count out loud. And when I say, are you ready? You're going to say, yes, sensei. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes, sensei.
There we go. Okay, 25 jumping jacks. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, now we're going to do scissor jumping jacks. So you're just going to cross your arms and your legs. Okay, are you ready?
Yes, sensei.
Okay, here we go. 25. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I don't clear your count, you're going to do 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay. Now we're going to do high knees. We're going to count like this. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 25. Are you ready?
Yes, Sensei.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Woo-wee. Okay, butt kickers. We're gonna count the same way. 1, 2, 3. Are you ready?
Yes, Sensei.
Okay, here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay. Are you guys feeling? Just shake it out. Loosen up a little bit. Okay. Down we go up for a second. Okay. So the number one rule, if someone, actually I'm jumping ahead of myself. Before we get to the point where someone is like attacking you and you're in a dangerous situation, we want to try to avoid that in the first place, right? So we kind of talked about some safety things, kind of talked about some safety things that we can do to avoid that. Another thing you can do is make sure that you're confident, that you're standing up tall, and if you run past someone who seems sketchy, the best thing you can do is look them in the eye and acknowledge them, just say hello, how are you doing? Because if you're looking down and you act scared, that's going to make you more of a target. Let them know that you know that they're there. Another thing is, if you're scared, you don't want to just like drop into a stance and get ready to fight them. You want to do everything you can to like wait till the very last minute to fight, right? So make it look like you're the victim and they're the ones coming at you. Keep your hands up, and if it gets to the point where they fight, then you can drop back into your stance and fight them. Okay, so this is like very, very last resort. Okay, so we've gotten to the point where like hands up, they're gonna attack you, this is a dangerous situation, life or death. The best thing you can do is hit them where it hurts and then get out. Hit them where it hurts and then run as fast as you can. Call somebody, get some help. So we're gonna talk about the vital points. Where are the places you can hit them where it's gonna hurt? So
And this is important too, because generally somebody attacking someone is a bigger person than the person they're attacking. So statistically, it's going to be a bigger person. So you're not going to want to hit someone in the arm or somewhere where it's not going to do any good. You don't know if it abs of steel or whatever, because you have to. It's important to make every effort count as much as possible.
right, like do any of you guys watch MMA? Does anybody know who Black Piece is already? Okay, anyways, well, he's this like big, giant, gnarly guy. Like he could take a punch to the face like no other. It's like a fly landing on his nose. You punch it as hard as you can. He knows. Like if someone like that is attacking you, and you punch him in the face or in the chest or something, all that's going to do is like aggravate him and make him more mad, right? So there's quite a few target points. The main ones that I want you guys to remember are the eyes, the nose, the gut, the groin, and the knees. So again, eyes, nose, gut, groin, knees. Okay, a few other target points. We're just going to go through all of them real quick, but we'll focus mainly on those ones. So we have the eyes. I mean, you could just poke them in the eye, gouge their eye out. This is life or death, right?
You don't have to touch the eye very hard. Just a slight touch will make it water.
Mm-hmm.
And
It'll
disorient somebody.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about plucking out their eyeball. I mean, it's just distress the eye.
Right. I mean, yeah. Okay. So poking them in the eyes. You have the nose. Make sure that if you're hitting the nose, that you're not coming straight down on the bridge of the nose, because you have that hard bone there. You don't want to break your hand. Best thing you can do is come at the nose from the side.
Or where else?
Or from coming up from the side or coming up under the nose. Next, you have the ears, 2 palms to the ears.
That's actually a great attack if somebody were to grab you from the front like this. Just pop the ears, and you can cause a pressure wave to actually destroy the eardrum, potentially, if ruptured. It causes a lot of pain and disorientation.
You also have collarbones. You can come down on the collarbones. You also have the throat. Just be aware that it doesn't take that many pounds of force on the throat to totally crush the windpipe. So this is like a life or death area. So you can come down on the throat. Chest typically isn't going to do a whole bunch.
That's one of the hardest bones in the body, the sternum. So
Yeah.
You don't want,
Yeah.
you definitely don't want to hit hard targets,
Mhm.
right? Because your hand is, despite what we see on TV and the movies, you can actually hurt your hand as well,
Right.
hitting bones.
Right. You do have the solar plexus so right underneath the rib cage. That can knock the wind out of
That's
them.
a good one. And that actually,
Mm-hmm.
if you hit that hard too, there's also a bone protrusion there called the xiphoid process that you can actually knock off. And then do some other damage. So that's a good one. Even if you have abs of steel, there's all that squishy spots all over there. That
Yeah.
solar plexus is a good spot.
Solar plexus. And then abdomen, getting hit or kicked in the abdomen is always painful. Then you got the groin. Honestly, eyes and groin, when I imagine, I've never been in a scary situation, I've never had to do this on the trail, but I imagine if I was, it would be the eyes or the groin. So you got the groin, and then you have the knees, just kicking the knees from any direction, making the knee bend the way it should bend. Then you have the shins, sliding down on the shins is painful. You have the instep of your foot right here, which is soft and painful. Stomping on their toes.
And these are things that could keep somebody from pursuing you. Right? So you're trying to stop them from running after you. So anything you can do to slow them down is good. So you can escape to some help or whatever. So
Again, it's hit them where it hurts, then get out. And behind, you have the kidneys. You have the back of the neck. You have the back of the knee. You can buckle them and get out. So those are all the target points. But again, if you're going to remember any of them, eyes, nose, abdomen, groin, and knees. Okay, those are vital points. So now let's talk about the strikes and the kicks and the stances. So I'm going to teach you guys the first karate stance. It's called a neutral bow. The reason it's called a neutral bow is because we're taking the stance as if we're pulling back on a bow and arrow. So what you're going to do is you're going to slide back. You're going to bend your knees slightly. Both your feet are going to point at a 45-degree angle. Okay, and the reason our toes are pointed at a 45-degree angle, it's called closing the gate. So if your toe is pointing straight out this way, it leaves your groin wide open. By closing the gate or pointing your feet at a 45-degree angle, it locks your groin.
and those are for
that
like
area.
your soccer style kickers. Or somebody coming straight up, if the knee's in the way, it'll ricochet off. Versus if your toes open, it's a guide right up, to the groin. So that you actually protect yourself even just in the way you stand. And what's the purpose of the stance? So get it.
So when we get into this stance, we are making a smaller target. So this, if I'm looking at them this way, I have a big, wide open target. They can get me anywhere. By turning sideways, I'm making myself smaller and I'm protecting all of this, closing the gate. Okay, in this stance, your knees are bent, you have a little bounce. This is so you can explode and move quick, right? Okay, then we have our hands and fists. This is how you make a fist, with your thumbs in front of your fingers. Not like this, because that can snag on something. You want to break your thumb. You don't want this either.
Never this.
Yeah, that's going to break your thumb if you punch someone. So you want your thumbs right in front of your fingers here. Okay, so your hands are in fists, slide between the knees, toes at a 45-degree angle, little bounce. So this, what I'm in right now, this is a right neutral bow because my right foot is in front. If your left foot is in front, it's a left neutral bow. So imagine we're all back in the karate dojo here. Everybody get into a left neutral bow. Okay.
It's in front.
Yep, so left is in front, there's left neutral bow. When I say switch, go ahead and jump into a right neutral bow. Go ahead and switch. And switch. Switch. Okay, now when I say switch, I want you to go, asa, asa. Switch, asa. Switch, asa. Switch, asa. Switch, asa. Switch, switch. Asa. Awesome. Okay. there is your fighting stance. Okay, and again, you never want to just like drop into a fighting stance, right? This is last resort. They're coming at you. It looks like you're going to strike, then you get down. Okay. Okay, the first block I'm going to teach you is an inward block. So we're going to get, this is a training stance. We're never going to fight like this, but we're going to get into an inward force training stance. So a horse, you're just going to widen your stance like this, bend your knees, and you're going to chamber your fist to the side right here.
Just like you're riding a horse.
Like you're riding a horse. So again, you're never going to fight like this. This is just a training stance. Okay, so we're going to learn an inward block. An inward block is going to start from your ear here. Then you're going to come across your body and end right here. So imagine that you are stabbing a knife into the wall in front of you.
That's the position of your hand. Should be right. So think of it as a hammer.
Yeah, or like you have a hammer. Yeah. So from your ear across. So if I were to punch him in
Are
the
you gonna
face
punch
here.
me?
Yeah.
Okay.
We walk here.
And it works on the outside too, right? So the same punch, I can block on the outside. Right? And you feeling the block?
Mhm.
If you don't think of blocks as blocks, think of them as strikes. Because she's giving me a target. I'm not going to let this go to waste. It's like hit. I might hit this arm. I'm not just trying to block it. I want her to feel that I struck it.
Every block is a strike.
Yeah. And so this same movement could be here as well. Right? So just because we call it a block, it doesn't mean I can use it in other ways. But so we're going to do it. You try one. Good. Nice.
Okay.
Everybody try one.
All right. You guys ready?
Yeah, give the squishy one. Try the squishy one.
Good.
Try the squishy one
We'll do the squishy one first. We'll use the one thing so that helps. Okay.
So
So,
you're
It's gonna
definitely
be
just
so
keep
bad.
that from hitting you. So she's going to try to gag you.
Just
You
take my
just
watch
need to keep it from.
Okay.
Yeah, this should hurt the watch.
ready?
So you can take it off. Good. Nice.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay, ready? Okay, so you're doing the outer
She's-
block,
she's
which
a
is
sneaky
the opposite too. So inner block from the ear, in. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it just matters that your butt. It just matters that
Thank you.
you're not gonna hit.
That was out in like 8 weeks.
No, it's good power. I like it.
Nice.
And it doesn't have to be a punch. It doesn't have to be a punch. It can be reach out to grab. Same movement.
Nice.
So it's not just about a punch.
Always ready.
Nice.
Right, go ahead. Okay. Oh. I gotta make a noise.
Nice. Good job. Yeah, just emphasize, like I said, a lot of times it's not going to be a punch, right? It's going to be a grab. So if I'm coming in to grab, it's the same block works the same way. So we learn something once, but we can apply it in many different ways.
Yeah, so anything coming at you, that works. Okay, everyone get into your horse stance. Next one is an outward block. So instead of coming in to your body, now we're coming across our body. And we're landing here. So it's kind of like the wax on, wax off thing.
For those that have seen the original
Yeah.
Miyagi version.
Everyone knows now because it's kind of Okay, good. And imagine that you're in a little box. You don't want to end your strikes way out here because then it's going to take more energy to bring your hands back in. So keep your hands in this little box close to you right here.
The other thing is let's do it for hands way up here. She's
Leave you
exposed
open.
here. So we call it elbow length. So anything that we do, you want to kind of keep your elbow close to your body, close to your torso. And that's what keeps that kind of thing called the power zone, right? The zone, keep the elbows there. Even when we punch, you never know the elbows. We'll talk about punches in a minute.
Okay, outward block. You guys ready? Here we go. Nice. Commit
Good.
a little
Wow.
square. Ready, that's
So now they know your
There you
methods.
you sort of like, take it.
Bring it in just a little bit. There you go. Nice. Good. You guys are all doing really good at doing it hard and making it a strike too. Okay. Next one, we have a rising block.
I just
So-
have one question on that. So how do you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
How do you know whether you do an inverted block or an outward block?
Oh yeah.
How do you choose? The answer is it doesn't matter. Right? It really doesn't matter. What actually matters is where they end up with that. Right? So she's supposed to punch at me. That's the way inward block. We call this on the inside, right? So on the inside of the person. But if I can do that same block, or she does the same punch, I can do the outside. And so it doesn't really matter what I use, whatever you're most comfortable with. I will say that by definition, the inward block has more power because you're dropping more of your body weight into it. Versus this one, you're relying more on a single muscle to generate power. So if you have to choose, I would say default to your inward blocks. It really doesn't matter what you do. So just don't let that be a confusion. Both will work.
Just keep them from punching you in the face.
Yes, just don't get hit. That's the part of the
Don't
rule.
get hit. Yeah. Again, just hit them where it hurts. Protect yourself. Get out. Right. You don't want to be in that fight for long. Just do something so you can get away. That's the ultimate goal. Okay. Next one is a rising block. So this would be if someone has like a stick or a trekking pole or something, and they're coming down on top of your head. Okay. So with this one, so we're in our chamber position here. You're going to trace your body through midline, and you're kind of, the reason we do this is so you're blocking your body. You're blocking your body here. As you come up, you're going to flip your wrist over. This little torque is going to give you power. And you want to be right above your head, and you want to have a slant in your arm. So it's like, imagine snow on the roof of a house, right? That's why all of the roofs are slanted so the snow slides off. You want their strike to just slide right off your arm. So you're following the line, torquing at the top, letting their strike slide off your arm. Okay, so try that on both sides. So you're tracing your body and torquing right at the top. There we go. Again, you want it to be a strike. Every block is a strike. That's why we have that torque. Okay, you ready? Here's my big stick. Nice. The goal is for it to slide right off. So go ahead and do a rising block. And if you don't slant, look what happens. It just comes down, right?
It's a lot to absorb.
Demonstration of what not to.
So that's why you want to have that slant. Nice.
Good.
I'm here.
You're not getting hit, so that's good. It's always right to get hit.
Nice. Got it slant a little bit more. There you go. And boom, boom. Good torque. Nice. Okay, so there's our,
Just a little,
Yeah.
just a little commentary on that. So this is actually works better if you kind of attack it. If you don't, so if she's trying to hit, I don't pin her up and wait for it to come. I literally go out after it. You find you actually get more of a bounce off that side if you're actually attacking. So you're trying to meet it, if that makes sense. And then we talked about blocks being strikes. How would you use a rising block as a strike?
very good.
Like if you're down, right, and you come up right up under the, use that as a strike to right on the chin. So again, always think about any movement that we do. It doesn't have just one use. Think about it, you can use it creatively. You never know what you're gonna have to do.
Our body is like this crazy weapon machine. We have weapons all over us. We're like all the Terminator. Okay, so there's some blocks. That's how we defend ourselves. Now let's go over a few strikes. So I'm gonna teach you guys how to punch. Everybody get into your right neutral bow. Okay, we're gonna punch with our right hand here. So again, we're gonna make a fist, thumb in front of your fingers. Okay, now a punch looks like this. You wanna make sure that your wrist is lined up with your hand. You don't want this, you don't want this, because you can break your wrist and you're not gonna get as much power. The more lined up you are, the better power you're gonna have. When you're punching, you want to snap it. You don't want to leave it out there because then it leaves you open and then it gives us something to grab. So punch, it's gonna go like this. Snap. Okay.
kind of
So
important
this
too to try not to like extend your arm all the way and you hit too, so you want to hyperextend your elbow. Always keep a little bit of a bend to protect your elbows. And you'll feel it if you go too far. You'll actually feel your own elbow kind of overextend.
Yeah, you'll know. Nice. Good snap. Just bring it right back. And then bring it back. Okay, so this punch, this is great for anywhere between here and here, basically. If you were in a dangerous situation, I would actually recommend a vertical punch. So we're gonna do this one next. It's gonna be the same thing. You're holding your fist the same way. You wanna snap it back, but you're just gonna turn your fist this way. So instead of punching this way, you're punching this way. This is awesome because it fits in the face really, really well. You can come down on the nose here, punch them in the eye socket here, come up underneath the chin here. Because if you reach up when you're punching like this, look what it does to my wrist.
The wrist is turned and you didn't hurt your wrist, right? So that, we
So
call this one the universal punch because she can hit me either anywhere, not from my knee up to my nose, and she'll go hit correctly.
So this
What
is,
part of the fish that they focus on is your striking?
you're striking with the first two knuckles here. So these two knuckles, that's where you want to hit
Two
them.
big knuckles are really what you're trying to drive into.
That's where the alignment is.
So when would you use this one?
Ever. That, if you're going to be doing solar plexus or abdomen,
Yes.
then you want that one.
That works well. This is a more traditional martial arts strike, but really, when all else fails, use this vertical strike. You can't go wrong. So this is my preferred punch strike. It's the vertical strike.
Yeah, but we teach this one because it's
You can generally
It's
have
the
power with
universal
this,
one,
but it has a limited zone because if I go higher or lower than that, I have to hit incorrectly, which would hurt my wrist.
right. If your target person is bigger and taller than you, so this is kind of the go-to. So everybody, switch to your left foot. And practice a few punches on this side. So you can your horizontal punch, vertical punch. You can punch high, low. You can also punch with your backhand.
That's going to have more power. Your backhand will always have more power because you can turn your body. That's what we call a jab. Right, for second reverse
This
punch.
one's closer. This one, yeah, you're gonna have that body torque. You're gonna give it a little
A
power.
little slower, but it has more power.
Okay, we also, there's a lot more strikes besides just a punch. So when you open your hand, there's a few more strikes. One strike is bridge hand. So what you're going to do is you're going to tuck your thumb in, and you're going to use this part of your hand to strike. You want to flex your fingers just a little bit to protect them and to, to protect your fingers and to have more stabilization. You don't want your fingers hanging out here. You don't want to get caught in anything. So you're going to close your fingers, flex your fingers, tuck your thumb in, and you're going to hit here. So ridge hand can come out this way. It's really good for the neck. Here's the thing. Yeah. Temple, neck. Here's the thing with an open fist is if they like clench up, you can't really punch here, but you
Called the
can,
grimace.
yeah, but you can ridge hand, you can still get in there. So you can ridge hand here. You can also ridge hand to the groin. So there's our ridge. Then we have sword hand, which is going to be on the opposite side here. Again, you can come down on the neck here. You can hit it here. You can hit kidneys,
Throat.
throat. So you can use both sides of your open hand to strike different areas.
All of these martial art weapons they basically imitate real weapons, right? You think of a sword versus like a mace. So if they didn't have a weapon, they just used the body as a weapon, like what are they saying? And a sword hand has the three basic functions as a real sword, right? I can chop with it, I can slice with it, and I can poke with it. So you can, just be careful using your fingers. If you have to train them, your fingers are, probably some of the weaker things you can use. So you probably break your finger. But this is safe. Your judos are safe. Your rich hands are safe. I would avoid any type of poking if you can, because chances are you're going to hurt your own fingers unless
Unless you're poking
really
your eyes. eyes.
Yeah, and eyes, I don't know that I would always just go for eyes directly, but if someone's trying to grab you, and you can get to their eyes, it's a good weapon. Because it's a small weapon, and nobody's going to just stand there and let you hit them, so you're probably not going to be able to hit the eyes if it's small, but if you're close, then you can touch that, right? So kind of just pick and choose based on the circumstance. But just know that there's a lot more than just punching. Everybody knows punching, but now you have sword handling. So what are some other ones?
So we also have claws. Slap them across the face. That's a good one.
I've done it.
She said spin, like just spit your hand in her eyes. And then
Yeah.
Something just to freak them out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. There's lots of things you can do. There's also claws. You can claw them across the face. You scratch them, right? Yeah, you got like tiger claws, man. So you can claw. You can come up underneath the chin just with an
The
open
coat palm's
palm.
a great strike because you can do it without a lot of conditioning, and you can hit pretty hard without damaging yourself.
I'm trying to get these quick so we can get to the techniques, which is what is really important. We also have elbows and knees. These are the most powerful weapons on your body. The only con with these is you have to be really close to the person to use an elbow or a knee.
Right, not going to be this far away and like jump into the flying elbow.
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
work that way. But if someone's trying to grab, she's got the knees and the elbows,
Elbow.
which actually, kind of fly in that kind of situation if someone's probably trying to attack you with. So they're going to be close. And so you can use your elbow in lots of different ways.
You can come up underneath the chin. You can sandwich the head. You can come down on the
Down with it.
chest. You got knee to the groin or the abdomen.
I've even got this obscured elbow maybe down here.
This is an awesome one because it's sneaky. They're not going to expect if they have you from behind.
Pop it up. Or even if you fake another target and then you force them to right. If I come down, it's gonna even if I don't hit low, it's gonna make her come down and then I come up. So you can really kind of lure them into an attack as well.
It's kind of amazing how there's so many weapons on us, right? Couple more things is you can always pinch them. I always think of if they come behind you, a great thing you can do is pinch the
You're
thigh.
just trying to startle,
or
right? So you
pinch
can
the
get
groin.
away.
Yeah, so there's a pinch or there's stomping on the feet.
There's not a lot of meat on the top of your foot, right? It's just pretty much bone. And so if you crack down on top of someone's foot, it's going to hurt. And they're probably going to be less likely to pursue you because their foot's going to be hurting pretty bad.
Right. So lots of different weapons. Okay, I'm going to show you guys a couple of kicks and then we're going to tie it all together and do our techniques. So I'm going to show you guys front snap kick and a side kick. So front snap kick, actually back up. Every kick there's 4 steps. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're picking up the knee, extending the leg, bringing the leg back in, putting it down. If we skip, the step that's usually skipped is 3, 1, 2, and you forget to bring it back, you kick and you just land out here. So it's just like with the punch, you want to kick and bring it back, put it down. If you leave your foot out here, it's going to leave you open. It's going to leave them something to grab or sweep or trip you, right? So when you kick, make sure you kick them and bring it back, put it down. So first kick is going to be side kick. This is going to be good for getting the knee lower.
Specific knee strike.
Mm-hmm. The problem with kicks, they're really powerful, but the thing is, as soon as you pick up your leg, you're confined to this spot. You're stuck right here. And now your base of support is smaller. And if they take this leg, you're down. So don't try to do some fancy backflip, roundhouse, cool, like superhero thing. Like, this is my chance to do superhero. Like, just kick them low and quick.
Even
right?
after 35 years, I don't kick people to the face because it's like it's
not
just too impractical in the self-defense. Your hands are already closer, right? So use the weapons that are closest to the target. And the higher you kick, the longer your legs in the air, and the more vulnerable you can be. So if you train with kicks, that's different. Like if you really are good with them and have confidence in them, but it's very risky, from a self-defense point of view. So.
Yeah. Okay, so side kick. So everybody get into your right neutral bow. So we're gonna bring our knee up. 1, kick out. 2, bring it back in. 3, put it down. 4. With a side kick, you're striking with your heel, and you want your foot to be parallel with the ground. You don't want it facing this way or this way. You want it to be sideways. And side kick. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.
Whoever you hit with this is going to be showing up your body strength for some physical therapy.
Yeah. And then your side kick. And again, just kind of low. This is great for the knee or to come down the shin.
You know, and if you're coming, you can't get to the gut or to the ribs, you know, as well. Your confidence level.
Okay, everybody switch sides to the other side. And remember to snap it. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you got the boots.
Sweet boots.
Power boots. Love it.
Okay, then we have a front snap kick. So a front snap kick, you are, okay, it looks like this. You're curling your toes back and you are hitting with the ball of your foot right here. So this is a really good one for the groin. Honestly, I'd say that would be, you can hit the knee,
You can
but
go to the knees. A little bit tougher to hit with
Yeah.
a snap kick because sometimes
But the
when
knee-
you can't really see where my knee is.
yeah.
And it's easy
So
to
front
miss.
snap kick is going to be good for like abdomen or groin.
And even if you don't hit, if you just fake it, what does that do, right? And what are you going to
Brings
use
you down.
after that? Then you're going to use your vertical punch and hit me in the nose. So you bring me toward you. We call that a opposing forces concept, right? Where if two cars hit head on, it's going to be much more damaging than if you bump one going the same direction. So if you can fake them and bring them in and then hit them, right? You're going to have cause more damage because they're coming towards you.
So this is a good fake out kick.
Yeah.
Or again, groin or abs.
Oh, I wonder if they're just kind of playing and you're
Yeah,
like,
let's
I
have a
don't want to hurt somebody.
Let's have a stranger come play.
We're not talking
Yeah,
about
somebody
we're talking about the life or death situation.
Life or
It's a
death,
different
yes.
strategy. You don't want to you don't want to do this to people.
No,
Yes.
that's what I'm thinking.
They like that?
You have to just do open handed.
You gotta
Try
find
to-
Well, that's
out.
what it is. They're like, oh, serious.
Or you could put on some sparring gloves. And you could tap
No,
people.
I'm just thinking, you know, a running buddy comes up behind and says, hey, it's like,
Well,
Oh, yeah.
then they'll learn to never mess with you again. They just know,
So you
like, don't
just have
sneak
to
up
warn people.
on
Don't
Lori.
surprise me.
Yeah.
I'm a fine-tuned
It's like, they'll learn.
machine.
Yeah,
right,
yeah. We learned growing up to not sneak up on dad.
that's fair.
But you still get to the point where you can react and
Yeah.
you can determine if it's really a threat.
Yeah.
So like someone grabs your shoulder. You know,
But if any of you guys actually do like knock a friend out on the trail, please let me know because that's hilarious.
make sure you film it so we can put it up.
So,
Can we do it again?
yeah. Okay. Do you guys have any questions on what we've gone over so far? Those are I know it's a lot, really, really fast. You're not going to be black belts tonight, right? Like this is just like a really quick overview, so you have kind of that database in your head if something ever were to happen, right?
I do have another question, and you may be going to get to it, but animals, with the same concept with animals, and
Yeah. You're talking
Definitely,
you're gonna talk
it's
about-
definitely different with
Okay.
animals. Definitely different. I'll briefly touch on that at the very end.
So there's going to be some material that we'll be able to access.
Yeah, there is an online course, and that will go like way more into depth. And there's like videos that you can refer to, and yeah, and that goes like super into depth with what to do with animals. So, okay, we're gonna go through the techniques really quick. So now that we know where the vital points are, we know the weapons, we know the punches, the blocks, and the kicks. Now we're gonna tie it all together. So we're gonna talk about three main grabs. So there's first one is if someone comes in front of you and tries to grab you this way, or if they try to grab you from behind. What you want to do here,
And I would say the one we should emphasize is the one from behind. That's probably what, if you're in a running
Most likely.
situation, someone's going to be coming up from behind.
so what you want to do in this situation, if someone is wrapping their hands around you, the first thing you want to do is chicken wings. So you want to face your palms out, bend your elbows.
You even just think about fitting your hands on the
You
hips.
can put your hands on your hips.
And
Yeah.
the reason we do that is this. As I come around, it makes her wider so that I can't block my thing. With any grab, you want to try to act before they have a
Before
chance to
they
block
grasp.
their grip, because then it becomes a different fight. If she like you in here and grab,
It's
lift her
a
up.
little
Now
different.
it's a different ball game, and if I'm here, and she stops me, and you're able to counterattack, or with any grab. So you want to start sooner than later.
So we want to chicken wings, and then think about the vital points. Think about the tools I just gave you guys. What can you do from here? What do you guys think? Yeah, you can kick them. You can do
Walk
that.
your out here, so you can see. Stop me here, okay?
Back kick. Yeah, you can get
Good.
the groin.
You could go down with the elbow.
The elbow's a great one right to the solar plexus. That's kind
That's a
of
strong one.
nasty, yeah. Okay.
Get up.
Come under the chin.
Chin. I think a really good one here is stomping on the toes.
The toe.
Or again, pinching somewhere. Pinching like inner thigh.
Well, that's not really going to stop him. That's going to stun them. I probably wouldn't resort on pinching, but I would go for a bigger target.
Here.
Right.
Yeah, you can do your hammer fists to the groin. So the trick is the chicken wings. Hit them somehow,
Elbow.
and then get up.
And then just get on the way. Don't wait around and see what happens next. You use your head to, as I'm coming here, you throw her head back in on the she'll feel it, but it's going to feel worse on
That would be
the
the most like epic way to do that.
no gets in the way.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I think that's a good concept. We never try with each other. Try it.
You guys want to try each
If we
other?
have time, I don't know. Yeah.
I know we're. Well, let's go through it and then we can
Then we can just
practice
repeat.
it. Yeah. I'm trying to start a little bit late. Okay, so if someone's gonna grab you, chicken wings, hit, get out. Okay, next one is a wrist grab. So if someone grabs your wrist, and if someone grabs your wrist anyway, it could be across like this, it could be like this, it could be double, it could be same side. The trick here is to twist, push, get up.
Twist.
You're gonna twist towards their pinky. You're gonna twist towards their pinky. Watch what it does to his wrist here. Push, get out. Now if I twist towards his thumb, it might work. But
It's not as quick to get out. That's
Yeah.
some grip here. Here, once the hand gets the other way, I get kind of this move here. Now you're up against the joint. The joint will not need to work that way.
Twist,
So I have
push.
no choice but to
And this is gonna work with any kind of wrist grab.
do.
So you're just gonna twist, push, get out. So this one, let's try this one on each other. Just like you two and then you two. Just grab, twist towards the pinky, push, get out.
Okay, you want me to grab your wrist first?
And you want to even think about a strike you do. Like if she grabs me here, yeah.
Then try.
I think they were grabbing, so if she grabs me across, same thing though, right?
What's your?
As you get a twist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, I'll like.
And then
See how her hands are in this shape.
Okay.
Wait, dude, that's right. But, yeah, this way.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Type of water.
That's right.
So towards her pinky too though, right?
yeah, and then forward to
Sorry, it's so
And then you
So
get-
let you grab
strike
her.
that works. Like if
No,
you grab me
what
here,
you do. So twist her shirt.
Here.
So you don't want to grab her.
you do a punch, and then-
So grab her.
So I'm grabbing her.
Yes,
So
yeah.
you don't want to. But
Like,
the thing is, don't-
there you go. Yeah. Don't grab
Maybe
them.
that's where it- yeah.
Twist, push, get out.
So,
You can combine
okay,
it.
but if you
Yeah.
hurt her pinky
Try with 2 hands.
towards my pinky, wouldn't it?
Works the
Let's
same
grab
way.
me.
Nice.
So I'm going
I love
to
it.
your pinky.
I feel like I'm in a movie.
Because of the
I was actually just gonna action punch you straight there tonight, but.
See what you were moving in.
Yeah.
It's close
Not your hand, that's. That's all about if I grab this.
Now you guys got it. And then you're going
Oh.
push and then get out. So here, grab me. So you're gonna twist towards the pinky. You're not gonna.
That's a good one. I like the knee
Yeah.
ones. Yeah.
Then you push
I
it.
think the knee would work better.
So I'm grabbing, we're grabbing each other.
I would do
That's
the
considered
knee.
like this because there's so much.
Okay.
Okay, so if I grab you,
Oh, you got it. Oh, no,
There
yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I'll grab it.
Oh, that'd be terrible. Yeah, it's opposite.
Just grab this
So-
thing if you want. And
then
then
we-
You think about it.
No.
Yeah, that's what we think of kids, is it's not necessarily about-
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, okay. And like go home and practice it. You know.
Apparently he knows what he's doing.
My son, it's not my husband.
I know,
He's like, look, I'm not even gonna say the
He's like, is this
Melody's
house
sincere.
robbers?
They were wearing some stripes.
Okay, and then thank you. Okay. Still hurt me.
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
You can do your
Do it
punch.
again, do it.
Yeah, they were kind of combining. Yeah, I love it.
Oh, your
And
nails got me.
honestly, if you're
I know,
like
I
in the
thought you were
situation,
sorry.
you're not gonna be like, where's their thumb, where's their pinky? Just twist, push their hand and get out, right?
That's what I was doing. He's like, you gotta do all these little fancy things.
It's not fancy. I'm just saying is if you
I
try to
get
get away, he still has, this attacker still has,
He's still coming.
they still have full capacity, right? So if I can go here, pop them in the nose and then run, right? Now they've got something, I give them something to think about. I can come all the way down, pull right into the knee, or into the groin, right? So there's lots of things you could do. Anytime somebody, my rule of thumb is anytime somebody gives you two hands, it's a gift because there's really anything
It is a
they can
gift.
do, right? I mean, they can't protect themselves. The two hands are busy. It's a two-handed grab. It's stupid, right? If you try to choke me, it's stupid. I mean, there's just she's giving me two hands.
So they like grab your two hands and you just laugh at how stupid they are.
Yeah,
like, in your
seriously.
face and you're out.
What about a front choke? What if someone grabs you? What's the best technique against the front choke? Just turn and walk away. Right? The only way someone can hurt you with this is if you stay there long enough to run to squeeze.
You see in the movies they go like this, right? They just go.
They just stand there and hold. But you have everything available, right? What can Melody do? Girl, anything. If someone's really trying to put me, I'm going to go right to the eyes, right to the top of the ears, right to the throat.
Well, what if they're longer arm length than yours?
Well, then you have to use a longer weapon, right? So you can use your knee or your foot. And so there's always a weapon you can use. The purpose of this, like Melody was saying, we're not going to teach you how to use black belt tonight, but it's like taking a swimming lesson tonight. You can functionally swim and not sink to the bottom without being an Olympic swimmer, right? That's what we're trying to do is teach you functional.
So if
Help
someone
you.
pushes you in the water,
Yeah.
you at least know how to get to the surface and survive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey
I
Melody,
was thinking of not a swim.
we had an online viewer ask if you have any advice about running with a stroller with this type of
Stroller?
situation.
Good place to keep your shotgun.
You know, I don't know. What would you do with a stroller? I mean, my first thought is like protect the baby, you know? Just, I don't know, take the baby out with one hand, use the stroller in the other.
Well, I guess how would somebody attack you with a stroller? They'd be coming from behind because they think you're there. So you're going to have to basically address them in the same way that you would without the stroller. Because I don't imagine someone would just step in front of you. You know, I would imagine they're thinking that you're occupied with the stroller and the baby or whatever, and so they're going to come from behind. And so
It's going to come back to that
I would
chicken wing.
I'd push the stroller away to get the baby safe, and then I would do my normal attacks, and then I would grab the stroller and just run and try to get help. So I don't think it would change that much, other than you're going to be trying to use the stroller, which is going to make it a little bit harder.
I do think it's kind of that like put your oxygen mask on before you put on someone else's mask. Like if you're so worried about protecting the baby and you forget the techniques and you forget to protect yourself, it could mean you're both hurt, right? So I like what you said, just kind of push the stroller aside, you know, protect yourself and then get the
get back to
stroller
the
and
baby.
go.
I would think that your chances of getting attacked with the stroller are probably a little bit less. I would say probably you can never rule anything out. But like Melody said, if you're running with a partner or a dog, or I think even if you push the baby, I think most people are probably going to pass on it. They're going to watch for the single person out by
Because it
themselves.
does make it a little bit harder.
You know,
Yeah.
because they don't want to complicate their
The
whatever
baby
they're
can start
doing either.
screaming. And,
right. So, but you never know. It's been kind of crazy times. You never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But the general principles still apply.
Yeah.
But you just want to be aware of the baby and trying to escape. You may find that it'd be better after you stun the person to pick the baby up out of the stroller and run with the baby. You can go faster through the woods or whatever, rather than trying to push it pull the stroller along.
Right.
So
Right.
leave the stroller behind.
And also in these situations, just listen to your gut. Like your gut will kind of tell you what to do. Every situation is a little bit different. You know,
Make a lot of noise. We didn't talk about
make a lot
whistles.
of noise.
We didn't talk about whistles, but I carry like a really high decibel whistle with me. Because it's like one of the things you can do is just try to let people know. Not only can it scare somebody, but it can alert something nearby that there's an issue comes on.
No, that's a great weapon. Okay, last one. Lots of women will run with their high ponytails, right? What would you do if? Yeah. What would you do if someone came and grabbed your hair? So start throwing elbows. So the first thing you're going to do actually is you're going to grab their hand.
Press it to your head.
Press it to your head because now he's not yanking my hair.
I don't have that leverage of the pain of the hair movement. So you kind
This
of control
hurts.
that.
Now you're going to control it. Then from here, you're going to strike however you want. Elbow, punch, kick.
Anything to get
Stop.
them to release, right? That's what you're trying to do.
And I mean, let them rip out half your hair if it's life or death, right?
Get lucky.
Just, yeah.
And the
get
teaser for mine.
See, that's
Yeah.
why you can't, they just slip right off.
Okay.
What's that?
So that's why you just have weaves, they just slip right off.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Running.
Yeah.
Feel electric going there.
Yeah.
Now, so someone's coming from behind. So what's likely going to happen? She's running. I'm going to come up behind her and grab. I'm going to pull her down. What's the tactic now?
So, best thing you can do if someone grabs you and you're on the ground, you want to roll, get up and run.
So don't stay on the ground. Try to
The
roll
second
and
you're on the
get out.
ground, roll, stand up and run.
Right. So
Roll,
we're running. We kind of go slow. I grab. I pull her. Oh, she's not. I think she's immediately getting up and running. She's not waiting for me to do something else.
And your body, you'll just go with the momentum. Whichever way you're
Whichever way you're
falling, that's the way
falling,
you're going to
just
roll.
roll
Keep that
it.
momentum going, stand up and run.
If you can hit something on your way out, you see a target, you can hit it. Do that as well.
Give a
But really,
rock and throw
you
it.
just don't want to stay on the ground because that's the vulnerability. You can look for rocks and stuff too that you can use as well. Sticks, anything. Yeah, out in the woods, they have lots of options for weapons you use fine on the trail.
Yeah. So again, wrist grab. What do you do if someone grabs your wrist? Twist, push, you're out.
Just pop your
It's-
shoulder up.
Yeah. Okay, if someone's grabbing you, what do you do? Chicken wings, hit, get out. Someone grabs your hair, what do you do? Grab their hand. Their hand. Strike. And then someone pulls you on the ground. Awesome. Awesome.
Rolling.
You guys are officially running safety backwards. Do you guys have any other questions on any of that stuff?
Or any other scenarios that you
Yeah.
worried about?
Have any of you actually, I'm just curious, have any of you actually been in this scary situation, running alone?
Absolutely not.
That's good. Yeah.
I'm still back to the animals because
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen
Yeah, let's talk
animals
about
when I'm
that.
running. I haven't encountered them, but I've seen them for a distance. It's like, okay, I'm
Yeah. So
That's the right. I can see the right. Tactic.
Yeah.
Just get away.
the general rule when it comes to animals is you just give them their space. You just leave them alone.
These techniques will not work on Kudu.
Don't try,
I
don't try to
wouldn't try
attack an
it.
animal. You just want to give them
just
give them space. So there's a list of animals you want to stand up to, and there's a list of animals you want to run away from. So like a bear that's an animal you want to get big and loud, you want to stand up to it. If it gets to the point where it looks like it's coming at you and it's going to attack you. So this is kind of the same as like humans. You want to do everything you can to avoid the attack, right? But if it gets to that point, like a bear, you want to get big. If it's some kind of like dog or cat, like a cougar or mountain lion or something, that's another one that you want to get big and you want to continue to watch it. If you turn around and run from an animal like that, it's just going to chase you around.
That's what's important. Is the instinct when you see a scary animal is to run,
Mhm.
but that triggers their instinct as predators. And so if they see you run, that's their trigger to say get it, right? It's time for dinner kind of thing. So you have to back away. Some of you mentioned seeing that video, the guy in Provo, that had the mat line attack, and he stayed facing them, making noise the whole time. He was still filming it. I don't think I'd be filming it.
Honestly,
He cut him on tape, but he did the right thing, and then he backed away slowly. He was unthreatening, but he still made noise. He yelled at it, right? He tried to intimidate. If he would turn and ran, that thing would have
He'd be gone. Yeah.
In a second.
Yeah, so he did everything right. So he kept eye contact with it, he watched it. Another thing that you don't want to do if like a cat or something like that is coming at you, you never want to get down to pick up a rock. As soon as you're down, that's when it's going to attack you. You want to try to stay up. If you can grab rocks like off from the side of a mountain or something and throw things at it, that's going to help too, but you don't want to bend
A whistle can work at a loud noise, could also mean scaring it. That's why I always had that whistle right on my running vest, so I could just grab it and just put it in my mouth.
Yeah, you want to yell at it.
And just make noise while I'm
Kick dirt up at it. There are a few animals, like a moose, for example, that you do want to run away from. A moose, most of the time, if it charges you, it's a false charge. It might charge you one or two times, just kind of as a warning. If you turn around and run away, most of the time the moose is going to leave you alone.
There's nothing that scares a moose anyway, right? So you're not going to intimidate a moose no matter how big you appear.
Yeah.
They're just mean.
Yeah.
They can be mean.
They can. And again, the course goes like into way more detail what to do, but generally, just if you see an animal, give it its space. Turn around and
Those are
walk
the
away.
most likely animals you're going to see in these mountains anyway. I don't think we have to get too exotic. It's probably mountain lion, moose, bear, probably the three.
And
Wow.
don't spook them. That's another reason I run with my music on, is it lets all the animals know that I'm there. If you spook an animal, it's more likely to attack you because it's scared. So never sneak up on an animal. Don't assume that the animal knows that you're there. If you don't have your music on, rustle some leaves,
Clap
move
your
some
hands,
trees,
something
clap.
doesn't know.
So what about the bells? The bells on my dog.
Yeah,
And you
that's
can,
great.
that actually good tactic to let people, they let the things know from a distance that you're coming. And
Yeah.
usually one that you probably don't ever even see them, so they just move away. Most of them will do, most of them don't want to.
Also stay on the trail. As long as that's kind of what I do. If I see animals and stuff, I'm like, I just kind of imagine there's like this force field on the trail. If you're on the trail and you're just kind of staying in your territory and you stay on their territory, most of the time you're gonna be just fine. So
I've actually honestly had more problems with people with dogs on leashes than I had any wild animals. And so I actually started carrying the same little pepper spray. It's a tiny little bottle that the postal carriers will carry. It's called Halt. You can get it for under $10 on Amazon. And I've had to use it. I've had dogs attack me before. They really start biting my legs. And just a little puff, and they're gone. Right? So it's very effective. And I tend to think that would, it could be effective on other animals as well. Because as soon as they feel that pain, then they just, want to head out. So the bear sprays, you can get those, but they're like little fire extinguishers, and they're huge.
they're not
So
fun
it's
to
up to
run
you.
with, yeah.
That little Halt, I actually feel really good with that. And it's very light and easy to carry.
And just a side note on weapons really quick, there's pros and cons to weapons. Like the pepper spray is really great. You can use your car keys as a weapon. The only con with the weapon is if the attacker can take your weapon and use your weapon against you. So just if you are going to use a weapon, make sure you know how to use it and you have a good grasp on it. Like if you do run a pepper spray, practice using it. Read the instructions to know how to use it, because it's not going to do you any good if you're like, do I twist this? Like, what do I. So just make sure you know how to use the weapon and you're confident in using the weapon, or it's
Be aware of which way the wind's blowing.
Yeah, exactly. So, any other questions? Okay, awesome. Well, everybody stay safe out there. Thank you for coming. You are all black belts now. You guys are awesome. Feel free. Have no fear.
No, the course.
There is an online course if you guys want to get the online course. You guys can all get it for half off. If you're interested, just give me your name and your email and we'll send you a code. You can get half off.
That's the code.
The code is no fear. No fear.
That should be pretty easy to remember now.
Okay, so whoever is watching, everyone, if you want it for half off, it's no fear. That's the code. Thank you. We obviously didn't talk about this beforehand. Okay, so
Melody, where do they go? Like, what website? Where is it located?
you can find the course on Body Smart's Facebook page, Body Smart PT. You can also find it on their Instagram, Body Smart PT. You can find it on my Instagram, the Pine Tree Runner. It's just in my bio. Yes, that's where you can find it. Okay, am I missing anything else? I think that's it. Okay, and again, that goes way more into depth. It comes with a printout with everything. It comes with videos. It will talk more about weapons and how to use them. It will talk more about animals and what to do. So, and again, like my Instagram is the Pine Tree Runner. If you guys have any questions or if you have any experiences or anything, feel free to reach out anytime. So, okay, awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, you guys, for coming.
Yeah, appreciate it.
You.
Thank you, guys.